travelling around?
I hope they show the
looting?
scrunchy guy.
Nice easy question.
I don't know what to expect.
You're
There he
think
is.
of the demographic.
They showed it so quick. This is not Great Britain to me. Pauline Hanson gobsmacks after tour with Tommy Robinson. Wow, Callista's on it too. Let's check this out, since we're on the topic.
Now, look, speaking of the UK, let's talk about One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. She's been over in Britain over the last week. She says she's on a fact-finding mission.
Yep.
Now, she's joined activist Tommy Robinson on a walking tour of Luton. This is a town in England, northwest of London.
And if you see my videos on it, Pauline got attacked straight away by one of the engineers, or he might have been one of the doctors.
Which he claims has undergone Islamification. And here's a little bit of what Pauline Hanson witnessed.
Today, Pauline Hanson's over. She's leading the polls. She's destined to be the next leader of Australia. So she's foreseeing a lot of the problems in the UK that are on their way to Australia.
Excited are you about travelling around?
I hope they show the
looting?
scrunchy guy.
Nice easy question.
I don't know what to expect.
You're a dickhead.
There
mate.
he
Think
is.
of the demographic.
They showed it so quick. One of the great engineers, great imports there. Very nice. One of the doctors and engineers. Cultural enrichment, diversity, multiculturalism.
Dickhead, mate. You think of the demographic.
I'm gobsmacked because I wouldn't think that I was in England. I definitely don't want Australia to become like this. So anyway, this is not Great Britain to me, and that's why I'm going to protect Australia.
What a freaking legend. Pauline going over there and saying, this country's fucked. Sorry all my English viewers, but we need to save Australia.
Gosh, Callista, protect Pauline at all costs. I hope she was surrounded by security out in Luton. But, you know, look, she raised a good point because we have brought some people into this country, some who hate us, some who hate our values, and some who have no interest in assimilating.
Yep.
It's happening across...
Oh, but Tony Burke has said he doesn't want people to assimilate. He said he doesn't like people to lose who they are, even if they come from Islamic extremist countries or countries that abuse women. He said, I don't want them to assimilate. I don't want them to lose who they are. Well, I do. I want them to assimilate and become Australian. Apparently that makes me a right-wing extremist.
Across the West, as I said earlier. But what do you make of Pauline Hanson's fact-finding mission?
I think it's funny and it's fantastic considering the controversy that's going on with Tommy Robinson and everything that's nuts. Again, like with this whole Tommy Robinson thing, it's interesting to me when you have a bunch of lefties and a bunch of hardcore feminists coming out and wanting to cancel everyone for breathing, but at the same time wanting to protect women and children and so forth. One of Tommy Robinson's, again, like, yes, he's a controversial figure. He's polarizing at times, but you cannot deny that one of his central messages is to protect women and children from an overrepresentation of certain people committing these crimes. And again, like Pauline has built her platform and now built her popularity and her politics on conviction and not caring about the controversy and just saying things as they are. And I think it's great that she herself and other people are pushing through the controversy and the labels of it to expose the realities of it. Because Luton, I've listened to Tommy Robinson's story. It was a beautiful, British populated town that again is now completely dominated, where, he's a minority, or these British people born there are now minorities in that very town. And we don't want that. We don't want to become a minority in our own country, particularly.
What a legend, Cliff. Good on you going on Sky News and saying this. Because if you didn't know, Tommy Robinson grew up in Luton. Now it's turned into a Middle Eastern country pretty much, taken over by Islam. And that's where the Pakistani rape gangs have been raping allegedly 250,000 women and children, mainly children. And Channel 9 fired Carl for talking to Tommy Robinson about it. That they've done reports on. That's true. And they fired him and didn't mention the Pakistani Islamic rape gangs because that's too controversial to expose these criminals, these absolute scum of the earth. No, you can't expose that. They vote for Labor.
when people are practicing different kinds of cultural laws. That's not a good thing.
No, I think that's exactly right. And it's frightening. And I did see a lot more of that podcast or that particular episode, and it was quite fascinating. And when she does mention the demographic, you can clearly see it. And I just want to ask you about Tommy Robinson.
I see it in plenty of areas in Australia. I know we like to pretend it's not here, but Abbo's already done that here en masse.
Because, again, the left, they're outraged that Pauline would even dare to go on Tommy Robinson's show. When Carl Stefanovic obviously interviewed Tommy Robinson, he gets sacked from Channel 9 here in Australia.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
What does it say about freedom?
Fired for exposing the truth. Just speaking to someone, you get fired. That's how embedded these radical left-wing freaks are into our media.
Of speech in this country. I agree with you. Tommy Robinson, he is a polarising figure. Like him or loathe him, he's right now at the centre of many debates in the UK when it comes...
And that's because he was right about the gangs.
...to mass migration, when it comes to Islam.
Yep.
Again, people...
And you know why it was so historic that he was right and they tried to lock him up for racism, all this bullshit over the years? Because Rupert Lowe did an investigation, and you know how he investigated it? Not from government funding. They don't want to investigate these people. That's who vote for them. They crowdfunded it. The people came together to fund this investigation. And it's more horrific than you could ever believe, trust me.
Have their own opinions, and that's fine. That is the great thing about living in a democracy. But to criticise her for even going on his podcast, what does that tell you?
Yeah. It tells me that they do not hold themselves to the same standards that they expect everyone else to hold themselves to. It's the whole...
Pac-Man, thank you so much for 4-month membership, mate. You absolute legend. 4 months already. This is kind of spooky. Did you hear? Yeah, exactly, Pac-Man. You legend. Can't believe it's 4 months. Time goes so quick. When we're winning, time goes quick, mate. Thank you, Pac-Man. And Danger Dan, welcome, mate. Good evening, patrons. Good evening, Danger Dan. Good evening. Thank you for scarring us all with Albo and his implants on your last video. Good to see you, Danger Dan, you legend. Love your content, mate.
Conversation is about, how could they be platforming, like with Carl particularly, why would he platform him? Or, Pauline going on his, Pauline's a politician. The whole point of being a politician or being a journalist is to platform very different points of view. But, when you bring...
But if you're in the left-wing politics, you can't have different points of view. It's got to be an echo chamber. Got to get that propaganda across.
That point out, then it's, Carl or Pauline, they're not scrutinising hard enough. They're not asking the right questions or whatever. It's always something. But again, I could rattle off many examples. That's probably what you can as well, to these left-wingers platforming. Some people have said some incredibly horrible stuff, to Grace Tame.
I was going to cough and do Grace Tame. She fucking said it. What a legend.
To her and the ABC, so incredibly disappointing. You would think in that scenario, as someone is just, I run myself and value myself off my morality. So if I see injustices on the right that I'm like, oh, that wasn't right, I will comfortably call that out because it's my right to have a say and opinion to that. But the left wing, they go completely silent when you've got Grace, the golden girl of the left, saying that she believes the rape of Israeli women is propaganda. And
that was crazy. When she said that was fucking crazy. She's paid by taxpayer monies for ABC. She said that. Grace Tame, Australian of the Year. Abbo's favourite. She's a bit difficult, though.
Not even a call-out, not even a criticism, but a taxpayer-funded podcast. And it's okay for the ABC and our taxpayer-funded media to platform all of these radically left or polarising people because they're not risk being boycotted by advertisers. They're paid and funded and platformed by us, the taxpayer. So
that's what's sick. That's why they push their agenda. That's why. It's absolutely sick.
Frustrating and worrying, but look, that's why we've got the pushback. We've got the Paulines of the world who wants to completely change the political space. You've got commentators like myself or you, Danica, that are calling this out and not worrying about the labels that come because they're not true. And if you continue giving power to these labels, well, you continue giving power to these lefties who just want to silence you over have conversational debate with you.
That's it. Well, we won't be silenced. You know, now's the time to speak our voices. And I do think that people are starting to think more critically when it comes to these issues. I think here in Australia, I think it really changed in particular after the Bondi massacre. People woke up and went, okay, you know what, maybe we do actually have a problem, even though, you know, the warning signs have been there for a long time.
Especially after that, and the government wouldn't say Islam did a terrorist attack, wouldn't say radical Islam did it even. All they blame was far right, far right, far right.
But sometimes it just takes one big event for people to open their eyes and realise that, you know, things are changed. The Australia that is very, very different.
Awesome. There we go. It's good to see Callista on the news. She's awesome. She covers all the, crime and everything going on. She does some great videos. She's really good on Instagram. Make sure you follow her. And thank you all for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, join to be a member. It means a lot to me. Absolute patriots. Let's keep it going.